Namaste, dear friends. Welcome. It brings me great joy to share this space with you today. Look around you, even in this digital space, feel the quiet potential that resides in this very moment. We often rush through our days, don't we? Like a river eager to meet the sea, forgetting the beauty of its own gentle flow. But what if I told you that the secret to a richer, more fulfilling life, the path to getting better every single day, isn't about grand gestures or monumental shifts, but about the subtle art of gentle unfolding, much like this flower I hold. Each petal unfurls in its own time, guided by an inner wisdom. You, too, possess this wisdom. Today, we embark on a journey together, not to a distant land, but inward, to explore how the timeless teachings of Buddhism can illuminate our path to daily growth. It's not about becoming someone entirely new overnight, but about becoming more authentically you, day by day, breath by breath. We'll explore how to cultivate this inner garden, so that like a well-tended plant, you can bloom with increasing vibrancy. There's a profound peace in knowing that every sunrise offers a fresh opportunity to learn, to soften, to grow wiser and more compassionate. So, find a comfortable seat, allow your breath to settle, and let us begin this exploration of how to get better, every single day. One of the foundational understandings in Buddhism is anicca, or impermanence. Now, this might sound a little melancholic at first, the idea that everything changes, nothing lasts. But I invite you to see it differently. Think of a majestic river. Is it the same river from one moment to the next? The water is constantly flowing, new streams join it, the riverbanks subtly shift. Its very essence is change. And because of this constant flow, it remains vibrant, alive, carving new paths, nourishing the land. Our lives are much like this river. We are not fixed entities. The person you were a year ago, even yesterday, is not precisely the person you are now. This isn't a loss, it's an incredible opportunity. If everything were permanent, how could growth occur? How could we heal from past hurts, learn new skills, or deepen our understanding? Impermanence is the fertile ground upon which all progress is built. When we resist change, we are like someone trying to stop the river from flowing. It's an exhausting and ultimately futile struggle. But when we embrace impermanence, we align ourselves with the fundamental nature of reality. I remember a young novice who was deeply frustrated with his meditation practice. "Master," he'd say, "my mind is never still. I try so hard, but the thoughts just keep coming. I'm not getting any better." I pointed to the clouds drifting across the sky. "Are those clouds permanent?" I asked. "Do they fight to stay in one place?" He understood. Just as the sky allows clouds to pass, our minds can allow thoughts to arise and pass without clinging to them. Understanding this transience is the first step to not being overwhelmed by our inner states. It allows us to see that a bad day, or a mistake, is not a permanent stain on our being, but a passing cloud. And with each passing cloud, there's an opportunity to learn, to adjust our sails, and to continue our journey downstream with a little more wisdom. So, the invitation here is to see change not as a threat, but as your closest ally in this quest to get better every day. Each moment is fresh, untainted by the last, if we allow it to be. So, if change is constant, how do we navigate this ever-flowing river without being swept away or lost in the currents? The answer lies in a practice that is both profoundly simple and incredibly powerful: mindfulness, or sati. Mindfulness is the art of paying attention, on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment. It's about truly being here for your life, rather than living in the memories of the past or the anxieties of the future. Think about your morning routine. How often are you truly present? Perhaps you're brushing your teeth, but your mind is already in a meeting, or replaying a conversation from last night. Mindfulness invites us to bring our full attention to the sensation of the bristles, the taste of the toothpaste, the feeling of the water. It sounds almost trivial, doesn't it? But the cumulative effect of these small moments of presence is transformative. When you are mindful, you begin to notice the subtle patterns of your thoughts, the arising of emotions, the ingrained habits that might be holding you back. You can't change what you're not aware of. I recall a story of a great Zen master who was asked, "What is the secret to your enlightenment?" He replied, "When I eat, I eat. When I walk, I walk. When I sleep, I sleep." The questioner, a little perplexed, said, "But Master, isn't that what everyone does?" The master smiled gently. "No," he said. "When most people eat, they are thinking of 1,000 other things. When they walk, their minds are elsewhere. When they try to sleep, they are agitated by worries. They are never truly where they are." Mindfulness isn't about stopping your thoughts, it's about changing your relationship to them. It's like sitting by the side of that river we spoke of and watching the leaves float by. You acknowledge them, but you don't jump into the water to grab every single one. You cultivate a non-reactive awareness. This allows you to respond to life's challenges with greater clarity and less impulsivity. Try this simple practice. Throughout your day, pick one activity, perhaps washing dishes, drinking tea, or walking to your car, and dedicate your full attention to it. Notice the sights, sounds, smells, sensations. This is how we begin to reclaim our presence, and in that presence, we find the space to grow, to make conscious choices that lead us to become better, bit by bit. Every mindful breath is a step towards a more awake and intentional life. As we become more present through mindfulness, we inevitably begin to see ourselves more clearly, our strengths, yes, but also our imperfections, our struggles. And this is where another vital element of Buddhist practice comes in: compassion, or karuna, and loving kindness, or metta. Growth isn't just about intellectual understanding or disciplined action, it's deeply intertwined with the heart. Getting better every day means becoming kinder, both to ourselves and to others. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We berate ourselves for mistakes, hold on to self-judgment, and compare ourselves unfavorably to others. This inner critic is like a constant headwind, making our journey of growth so much harder. Buddhist wisdom teaches us to extend the same kindness and understanding to ourselves that we would offer to a dear friend who is suffering. This isn't about condoning harmful behavior, but about recognizing our shared humanity, our inherent fallibility. Self-compassion creates a safe inner space where we can acknowledge our shortcomings without being crushed by them, allowing us to learn and move forward. I remember a monk who was very diligent in his studies and meditation, yet he always seemed burdened by a sense of inadequacy. One day, our teacher asked him, "If a small child stumbles while learning to walk, do you scold them harshly, or do you gently help them up and encourage them to try again?" The monk, of course, said he would help the child. "Then why," the teacher asked, "do you not offer the same gentle encouragement to yourself on your own path of learning and growth?" This was a turning point for him. He began to practice metta meditation, starting with himself, wishing himself peace, happiness, and freedom from suffering, and then gradually extending these wishes to others. And this is key: compassion isn't a limited resource. The more we cultivate it for ourselves, the more naturally it flows towards others. When we understand our own struggles, we become more understanding of the struggles of those around us. This interconnectedness, this recognition that we are all striving, all seeking happiness, all experiencing suffering in our own ways, softens our hearts and breaks down the barriers of judgment and separation. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, not only benefits the receiver but also cultivates a more compassionate heart within the giver. So, as you seek to get better each day, ask yourself, how can I be a little kinder to myself today? How can I extend a moment of understanding or support to someone else? This is the path of heart-centered growth. The path to daily growth, like any journey, will inevitably have its obstacles. In Buddhism, we speak of the 5 hindrances: sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, dullness or laziness, restlessness and worry, and skeptical doubt. These aren't external enemies, but rather states of mind that can cloud our clarity and impede our progress. However, instead of viewing them as insurmountable barriers, we can learn to see them as valuable teachers. Recognizing them is the first step to working with them. Sensual desire, for instance, isn't just about craving physical pleasures, it's about that constant wanting, the feeling that we need something external to be happy. When it arises, mindfulness allows us to observe it without immediately acting on it. We can ask ourselves, what am I truly seeking? Ill will, or anger and resentment, can be a consuming fire. But when we notice its first sparks, we can choose not to fuel it with blame or rumination. We can practice compassion, understanding that anger often stems from pain or fear, in ourselves or others. Sloth and torpor, that feeling of heavy inertia, can be particularly challenging when we're trying to cultivate new habits. Instead of berating ourselves for lacking energy, we can gently investigate. Am I truly tired, or am I resisting something? Sometimes, a little gentle movement, a change of scenery, or even just acknowledging the feeling without judgment can help it dissipate. Restlessness and worry, the monkey mind that jumps from thought to thought, can be soothed by returning to the anchor of the breath, by grounding ourselves in the present moment. And skeptical doubt, while a healthy dose of inquiry is good, can become a hindrance when it paralyzes us with indecision or cynicism about our ability to grow. We can meet this with faith, not blind faith, but a trusting confidence in our own potential and in the path we are walking. There's a story of a farmer whose field was full of rocks. He could have despaired, seeing only the obstacles. But instead, with each rock he removed, he used it to build a sturdy wall around his field. These hindrances, when we meet them with awareness and wisdom, can become the very building blocks of our strength and resilience. They teach us patience, perseverance, and a deeper understanding of our own minds. So, when these hindrances arise, don't be discouraged. See them as opportunities to practice, to learn, and to refine your path. Each time you mindfully navigate a hindrance, you are, in that very act, getting better. So, how do we translate these profound ideas into the fabric of our daily lives? How do we ensure that this aspiration to get better every day becomes a lived reality, not just a fleeting inspiration? The key is in establishing consistent, gentle practices, small seeds that, when nurtured daily, can grow into mighty trees of wisdom and well-being. One of the most foundational practices is, of course, a regular period of formal meditation. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a remarkable difference. This is your dedicated time to sit with yourself, to observe your mind, to cultivate stillness and clarity. It's like tuning an instrument. It prepares you to play more harmoniously throughout the rest of your day. But practice isn't confined to the cushion. As we discussed, mindfulness can be woven into any activity. Perhaps you choose to eat one meal a day in silence, savoring each bite. Or you decide to walk mindfully for a few minutes during your lunch break, feeling the sensation of your feet on the ground. Another powerful daily practice is reflection. At the end of each day, take a few moments to quietly review your experiences. What went well? What challenged you? What did you learn about yourself or others? This isn't about judgment, but about gentle inquiry. It's like a gardener checking on their plants, noticing what needs a little more water, what needs pruning. This daily reflection helps to solidify the lessons of the day and allows you to set a gentle intention for the next. Engaging with wisdom teachings is also immensely supportive. This could be reading a few passages from a Dharma book, listening to a talk, or even reflecting on a single insightful quote. These teachings act as guideposts, reminding us of our aspirations and offering fresh perspectives. And let us not forget the practice of generosity, or dana. This doesn't always mean giving material things. It can be offering your time, a listening ear, a helping hand, or a kind word. Acts of generosity open the heart and connect us to others, reinforcing the understanding that our growth is intertwined with the well-being of all. I knew an elderly woman in a village near our monastery. She wasn't a scholar, nor did she engage in long hours of formal meditation. But every morning, her first act was to offer a small bowl of rice to the birds. And throughout her day, she was known for her quiet acts of kindness, a smile for a stranger, a comforting word for someone troubled. Her life was a testament to how these small, consistent practices can cultivate a profound sense of peace and inner richness. She was, in her own gentle way, getting better, more radiant, every single day. Choose one or two simple practices that resonate with you, and commit to them with gentle consistency. That is the path of sustainable growth. As we draw towards the close of our time together, I want to emphasize a crucial aspect of this journey: patience and self-acceptance. The aspiration to get better every day is a noble one, but it's important to remember that growth is rarely linear. There will be days when you feel you've taken 2 steps forward, and other days when it might feel like 1 step back. This is perfectly natural. It's part of the human experience. The key is not to become disheartened, not to abandon the path when you stumble. Remember the image of the river. Even a mighty river encounters obstacles, rocks, fallen trees. It doesn't stop flowing. It finds a way around, over, or through. Sometimes its pace quickens, sometimes it slows to a gentle meander. Your journey of personal growth will have similar rhythms. Be kind to yourself during the challenging phases. Treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend who is struggling. Perfection is not the goal, conscious, consistent effort is. Celebrate your small wins. Did you manage to stay mindful for an extra minute today? Did you catch yourself before reacting in anger and choose a calmer response? Did you offer a moment of kindness when it wasn't easy? These are victories. Acknowledge them. They are the stepping stones on your path. Often, we are so focused on the distant peak of some idealized self that we fail to appreciate the progress we are already making, the beauty of the path we are currently on. There's an old saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Each day, each mindful breath, each conscious choice, each act of kindness is that single step. And then another. And another. Don't be overwhelmed by the perceived distance. Focus on the quality of each step. Are you taking it with awareness? With intention? With a kind heart? If so, you are already succeeding. You are already getting better. I remember learning to meditate. My mind was like a wild horse, bucking and resisting. It felt impossible. My teacher didn't tell me to tame the horse overnight. He said, just sit with the horse. Get to know it. Offer it a little grass each day. Slowly, very slowly, the horse began to settle. It was a process of patience, of gentle persistence, of celebrating the tiniest moments of stillness. Your mind, your habits, your patterns, they too will respond to this gentle, consistent approach. Embrace your imperfections as part of your unique human tapestry. They are not signs of failure, but opportunities for deeper understanding and compassion. So, my dear friends, the path to getting better every single day is not a race, nor is it a complex formula. It is a gentle unfolding, like a lotus flower opening its petals one by one, revealing the jewel that lies within. That jewel is your own inherent wisdom, your capacity for love, your boundless potential for growth. It's already there. Your work is simply to create the conditions for it to shine. Embrace impermanence as your ally. Cultivate mindfulness to truly inhabit your life. Nurture compassion for yourself and all beings. See obstacles as teachers. And commit to small, consistent daily practices. This is the way. Remember that every moment is a fresh beginning. Every breath is an opportunity to return to presence. You have everything you need within you to walk this path. Trust in your own capacity to learn, to grow, to heal, and to awaken. Thank you for sharing this time with me. May your journey be filled with peace, with clarity, and with the quiet joy of continuous unfolding. May you get better, in your own beautiful way, every single day. What small step will you take today to get better? Share in the comments. Like this video if it brought you some peace. Subscribe for more weekly wisdom. Click the bell to stay notified.